Welcome everyone, my name is Mr. otherwise known as Chris, and welcome to Black Ops 2. Now today I want to talk about Call of Duty and where it's at and where it can go in the future, or probably should go in the future. Because I don't know what Call of Duty we're on at the moment. I think it's Call of Duty 9. I counted earlier and I think it was Call of Duty 9. I could be wrong. It might be Call of Duty 10. I think that's the next one though, who knows. Anyway, since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you see I'm getting mixed up already. What's happened was Call of Duty 4, it had a very, very good multiplayer and a damn good story, or a pretty good story anyway. It was a very enjoyable story. And because of that, everyone has been on the COD scene for a while, or at least quite a lot of people have. Modern Warfare really brought that aspect to the Call of Duty franchise. World at War kind of disappointed a few fans, but it brought Nazi zombies, and the multiplayer was quite enjoyable, so again, massively cool game. And then since then, it's kind of started to go downhill and become very samey and, to a lot of players, quite dull. I'm not knocking Call of Duty. I'm actually trying to help it out here. I kind of sympathise with Infinity Ward and Treyarch and all the companies who have been making Call of Duty, because, well, Activision as a whole, pretty much. I sympathise with them because they want to change their game, or at least they give the impression they want to change their game. But the problem they have is that they have a massive fan base, and it's very difficult to change a game if you have a big fan base, because you don't, although you want to get more people playing your game for lots of different reasons, you don't want to piss off your current fans. And that's the problem that I almost said Battlefield. That's the problem Call of Duty's having at the moment. So as much as people complain, oh, it's the same game we've been playing for the past 6 years, it is. But that's because a lot of people buy the same game they've been playing for the past 6 years. Now, I haven't been playing since the Call of Duty 4. I haven't been playing since then because I didn't get my console until the Christmas of 2009, maybe 2010. I think I've had my PS3 for 4 years. So, the first Call of Duty game I actually bought on release was the first Black Ops. So all I've had is Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2. So I haven't had as much experience as the average COD player. So because of that, I've only experienced 3 games. I've also played Modern Warfare 2, but that's besides the point. And because of that, I've had a bit of experience, and I do notice that the games are very similar to each other every single time they come out. But that's because they're in this situation where they can't really upgrade the game without annoying a lot of people. They're trying to, they really are, as far as I can tell. But they just don't want to add too much because it could take away from the current gameplay model that they have. It's almost like having a perfect formula for something and trying to change it. And I'm not saying Call of Duty is perfect in any way, shape or form. It's fun though. That's the main aspect of it. It's very fun. You can pick it up after work for like 2-3 matches and then go off again. It's a very easy to pick up game, and that's kind of why it's very successful. Now, in the new game, they're trying to add stuff, and I understand kind of where they're coming from and why they want to do it. I'm going to go into it in a bit more detail though. But the thing is, none of these things are game changing, and I'm going to go through the main things that I got from what they've released so far, and what that kind of means for Call of Duty. So first of all, they're adding character customization, and the thing about character customization is it's cool. It really is a cool feature to have in any game that you have. If you've got character customization, it adds an extra element to the game, but not so much in first-person shooters. And the reason for that is the one person who wants to see their character is you, and you can't because you're in first-person view at all times. Now, a lot of games that do have character customization generally get around this by having vehicles in the game. So what you can do, like Halo for example, you can jump into a vehicle and you're suddenly in third person view and you get to see that you look like an absolute badass. And that's cool. A lot of games do that. But the problem with Call of Duty is it's first person shooter. So having that element of character customization is fine, but it just doesn't add that much of an element to the game. It's cool, it's very fun to have it, but it just doesn't add anything to the game, especially because it's a first person shooter. So if it's a third person shooter, I'll be all up there for this sort of thing, because with third person shooter, you can add stuff, you can change stuff, and you really look cool. This is why I look forward to Destiny, by the way, because I think there's a third person view as well as a first person, so whatever you add to your character, you get to see, and it's very cool. Now, they're also adding quicker gameplay. They want to make it so the movement isn't hindered by every single obstacle you come across, and so they've added the the leaping ability that you see in Battlefield 3 at the moment. Because in Battlefield 3, if you haven't played it, because some people obviously don't play Battlefield 3, if you see a wall that's quite, it's like waist height or something, you can run up to it, leap over it, you keep moving. It doesn't really slow your movement down at all. That's what Call of Duty's going for. Now they're also adding a sliding feature which you have in games like Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, and it actually was in the Battlefield beta as far as I remember. Now sliding is a cool feature, but the thing about sliding is although it's a good way to move, you actually slow down quite a lot and then come to a halt, or at least that's the way it works in Crysis. I'm not sure how Call of Duty is really going to implement it, but they're going to implement it. And I think the reason they're doing it really is because Treyarch have the Dolphin Dive, so Infinity Ward kind of need their thing, and I think they've gone with the slide for that reason. Now the problem with the Dolphin Dive is that it doesn't really do anything. You can use it, but you jump in the air, you can't shoot while you're in the air. You land, and then you can get back up again. Now the slide is very similar to that. I think Infinity Ward put the slide in there for that reason. And it's going to probably work in the same way. It's not going to be that useful. It will be used, nonetheless, but it won't be like that useful compared to all the other mechanics in the game. So again, not really that game changing. They're also improving the graphics. Now improving the graphics is fine. If you improve the graphics of your game, it looks better. People generally prefer the look of, if your game looks good, they prefer it. That's pretty much the formula of how that works. But Call of Duty is not really known for its graphics. It's known for its performance, especially on the console. It's a console-based game anyway, and or as far as I know it is. And because of that, console players generally only experience 30 frames per second. And the cool thing about Call of Duty is it has 60 frames per second. And the cool thing about 60 frames per second is it really smooths out the gameplay and makes it look a lot better as you're moving side to side or turning or whatever the case may be. It also improves your accuracy a little bit. So a lot of people like Call of Duty for that reason. So I'm all behind Activision wanting to improve the way Call of Duty looks, but if they shouldn't improve it too much, they have to keep that 60 frame per second mark. That's what Call of Duty is known for. So again, improving the graphics, it's not a unique selling point. It's not going to make a lot of people want to buy it. Now they're also attempting to add a few dynamics to the game, like dogs. These dogs are better than the old dogs that we used to have, and stuff like. Oh, I've heard so many goddamn parodies of the dogs. They kind of went like when they were advertising the game at the Xbox One reveal. They were talking a ton about dogs. Now dogs, no one gives a shit about dogs. Just to put it out there. Dogs are fine. They're a cool dynamic if they look good and stuff, but it's mainly for the story. In the multiplayer, the good thing about dogs is they get you a ton of kills. Other than that, no one gives a crap. They just don't care about how good they look. Again, this comes under that improving graphics thing. No one is going to go into a game store and then the game, the guy in game go, "Hey, did you know that the new Call of Duty's got dogs?" The customer's not going to go, "No way. That's what I've wanted for the past 6 years. Holy crap." No one's going to think that. They're just going to be like, "Oh, okay, cool, it's got dogs." So, again, not really game changing. Doesn't add much to it. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, and I kind of want to relate it to another game, which is not a first-person shooter. Dynamic map events. Now, I'm not sure if they're actually in the game. I think they are. Who knows? But they're in a game called Battlefield 4 when that comes out as well. Now, here's the thing about dynamic map events. And my friend kind of reminded me of an old situation I remember. There was a game I used to play. I played it for about 12 hours in total. Me and my friend picked it up because we wanted to play a racing game, and there were no decent racing games on the market besides that one at the time. It wasn't that amazing, but it had this element of dynamic map events. That was its unique selling point. And the idea was, it was called Split Second. If you never played Split Second, I'm not surprised. But essentially what you did is you drove race cars with a lot of other people, and what you could do is you could actually blow up sections of the map to change the way the map works. It was a very, very cool game when you start out, and you got all these new maps and you're destroying stuff, but it doesn't take long for the gimmick of the destroyable maps and the dynamic map events to actually get boring. And that's the way Split Second worked. And I think that's going to be very similar in Call of Duty and Battlefield 4's dynamic map events. It depends on how dynamic they really are. But the one I've been given an example of in Battlefield 4 excuse me, is the idea that you can destroy a dam and the entire map gets flooded with water. It's a cool gimmick, it will look awesome on the first few attempts. But after a while, it will get damn boring. You'll be like, oh... The first time, you'll be like, oh my god, the map, just, the dam and the water and all that stuff, that's cool. After a while, though, you're going to be like, oh, cool, the dam got blown up again. It's not really all that interesting. It's cool, it's a very nice gimmick, it's a very nice feature, but it's not, game changing. And that's the same for Call of Duty. The only way I really see dynamic map events actually being that cool is if they add it to the destruction element that they currently have in Battlefield 4. Now, I know I'm relating this to Battlefield now, but there's a reason for that. So let's just say, for example, they have you know, like a skyscraper, which an entire battle is going off on, like say 10 floors of the skyscraper. Now, the way I think the dynamic maps should actually work, instead of the way they're probably going to work, the way they're going to work at the moment is very scripted events. The players probably can control it, but it doesn't really change the animations or anything like that. So what I think should happen, instead of the way they currently or probably going to work, I don't know this for sure, I think that it should be more of a case of, say you're fighting on 10 floors of a skyscraper, and there's a battle, you know, it's taking place on all 10 of these floors. And some guy decides, oh, I want to get onto 2 floors below because that's where the objective is. C4, boom. C4, boom. He's made holes in the in both the floors, or the ceiling, or depending on your perspective. But the thing they should add is make it so the structural you know, composition of the building can actually be affected. And that would be really cool, because then after a while, you know, the building could become wobbly and shaky because of all the destruction going on. Floors could actually collapse into other floors. That's dynamic, in my opinion, and it's damn complicated, I know. But that's when dynamic maps will actually have a massive effect on, you know, the way people will view the game. The reason I bought Bad Company 2 in the first place, that was the first Battlefield game I actually played, was because someone just said to me quite simply, yeah, you can level entire maps if you want to. You can level whole map? Yeah? Wow! Now that was awesome. That was a very cool feature, and it kind of got decreased in Battlefield 3, and they need to bring it back to make Battlefield 4 really, really good. But, you know, Bad Company 2 had that feature, and I thought it was absolutely awesome, and it really did affect the way the gameplay worked. You know, if you're trying to hold off a building, and then suddenly all the walls are destroyed, you got to hold off a building with no walls. And it was very, very cool. And Call of Duty needs to follow this same exact formula. If they want dynamic maps to work, it has to be very dynamic in terms of non-scripted, and it's hard to do at the moment, I know, but if they do that, they've got my vote, and that is really what could make Call of Duty a really, really good game. But just to summarize this entire thing, I do understand that Call of Duty is in a predicament where they have a massive fan base and they don't want to annoy too many people. So if they want to change, then they're probably going to have to annoy those people, is kind of what I'm gonna get at. But there is a lot of things they could add to the game which will annoy people, but it will attract a lot of other people to the game, and that's kind of what they need to focus on now. So I hope you enjoyed. Obviously you can comment with anything you want in the comments of this video, or just private message me, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. I've been Mustafa, over and out.